60-plus Association Chairman Jim Martin debated Professor Gruber back in December. Listen to this clip.
Seniors have not suffered in any way. Seniors should ask themselves, are they worse off, or is Fox News telling them they're worse off?
It's all our fault. All right, we're joined now by Jim Martin of the 60-Plus Association. All right, Jim, what was the tone of Professor Gruber when you were debating him? What was it, about 6 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago, Stuart, and the fact of the matter was I predicted that the Senate would switch to the Republican Party primarily because of Obamacare, and I think I had him a little bit flummoxed when I said to him, I asked him, I said, does Obamacare cover selective amnesia, since most of these Democratic senators who voted for it had forgotten they voted for it. But quite frankly, though, he was not being condescending. He was not in a room full of academics where he could call everybody stupid.
But did he talk about deceiving people? You know, agreeing to all kinds of things behind closed doors to deceive the American people into actually going for this bill?
No, quite frankly, he did not at that time. I wish he had, because quite frankly, I would have referred to him. You know, he was really a victim of his own stupidity, Stuart. And by that I mean, you know, criminals often get caught when they brag about their crimes. Well, Professor Gruber, in a moment of candor, more than once said to his liberal academics he wanted to brag to them how he had suckered the American public. Truth of the matter is the public has not bought this bill from the get-go. Seniors were even voting at the AARP, the liberal counterpart to 60-plus. They were voting 14-1 against this bill. Do you think they called a press conference and said, let's halt it? No. They sent a message to the White House and said, we must change our messaging. It's been deception from the get-go. And quite frankly, I think, you know, they say loose lips sink ships. I think Mr. Gruber's own comments may sink this bill when it goes back to the Supreme Court.
You think his comments hurt the bill when it goes before the Supreme Court next year? What about the new Republican Congress that comes in? Do you think they will be able to chip away at it effectively to not repeal it completely, but to reduce its scale? You think they can do that?
Lord, I hope so, because quite frankly, it's almost laughable, except this bill has been so harmful to seniors. You know, he said, the president said you can keep your plan if you like it, you can keep your doctor. That's not true, and seniors know that. And quite frankly, I hope they will chip away. I hope they'll get rid of the tax on medical devices, get rid of the Independent Payment Advisory Board, a bunch of unelected bureaucrats. These things will pass with Democratic support.
But Jim, then you're left with chaos. If you take little bits out, not little bit, take big bits out here and there, you're left, we've got chaos now. It's even worse when you take bits out of it. What's it going to look like a year, 18 months from now?
Well, I would hope, quite frankly, they would repeal the whole mess and start over. And by that I mean, yes, they can. The Congress can do that. Of course, this president will veto it. Right. But he ought to be, look, the buck stops at the president's desk, as Harry Truman once said. Forget Jonathan Gruber for a minute, and Nancy Pelosi can say, that was almost pathetic what she had to say about this man. Who is he? When on her website she has 7 different references to Professor Gruber. That was this morning. They may be down by now. But the fact of the matter is, the liberals and the liberal media in this case, they are treating Gruber like he has a fatal case of Ebola, and they're trying to quarantine him and pretend he's not there. He clearly was the architect of this bill. She knows that. The liberal Democrats know that. I say, why don't we do what the president said when he was a candidate back in 2008? He said, we will have transparency. We will have around on C-SPAN or on Fox. Let's have it on television. Let's have the principals, doctors. Let's have health care providers, if you will, sit around and debate this issue. Did they do that? No. The truth of the matter is they did it behind closed doors. The chickens are coming home to roost. Seniors were never for this bill. And you know, the Democrats used to get the senior vote. 2008, McCain won it by a few points. By 2010, the senior vote went overwhelmingly Republican, 2012, also 2014. Seniors are fed up with the mess that they've been handed by the Affordable Care Act.
And you did the debate with Professor Gruber where he bashed Fox News. Thanks for bringing it to us. Jim Markham, 60 Plus Association. Thank you very much indeed, Jim. We'll see you soon.